Okay, let's welcome our players. A round of applause for Ruslan and Shane.
All right, we're back once again. So it's Ruslan Chinakhov versus Shane Van Boening. Race to 5. Russia is leading 3 racks, 3 points over 1. Yes, it's race to 9 overall and race to 5 in this very match. And the referee is trying to give the breaker the best rack possible. It's Shane Van Boening winning the leg. So he is right here to come up with one of the masterpieces, with one of his wonderful break shots.
By the way, this is not the first time that Chinakhov and Van Boening facing each other in an individual match. A couple of years back, Van Boening came for the Kremlin Cup, or was it a different tournament? And Chinakhov was able, they played a challenge match, and Chinakhov won.
Yes, it was during the Kremlin Cup 2 years ago.
But right before that, he beat him in a money game as well. There was a challenge game. So it was very interesting. I don't think Chinakhov won the tournament, but he placed very highly.
You mean this year?
No, a couple of years back.
A couple of years back, Ruslan was back-to-back winner.
Of Kremlin Cup?
Yes, he won in 2014 and 2015.
Okay, then that was the year.
Yeah, that was the year. So actually, going past Shane was one of the tasks. Yeah.
I think he left him a nice bank shot.
So there's an opportunity for us to see once again how the table banks for the players, what the playing conditions are. Once again, yesterday they were struggling a little bit in this part of the game.
So Shane took time to look at the bank. Now he has a very difficult cut. He doesn't have upper left corner pocket.
Yeah,
but he has
the
a
side is
side.
available. Yeah.
Yeah. Holding the cue ball is straight on the 5. There's no need to play any forced position.
Yes, he's okay,
Six
but
ball is right in front of the pocket.
the situations like this are a little bit trickier when both balls are frozen to the cushion.
Yeah, you're right. Well, what's gonna happen now is gonna pull it back a little bit or stop it. I would pull it back to give myself extra angle.
You see,
But-
there was a slight left English. Just he wanted the
Well,
cue ball to get off the rail
Off the
slightly,
rail.
yes, and then
Yeah.
come back to hit the 5.
Because the cloth is new again, it's not that easy. You see how much force he had to use? He had to really force it off the rail. In general, Shane is a perfectionist in his game, and he gets he when he misses a shot like the one ball that he missed, um, he doesn't get discouraged. He gets more
More motivated,
energy,
more motivated, probably.
more
yeah.
motivated to really play well. And you just saw that the bank shot, a couple of very no, look, not easy shots.
So now let's look what Ruslan is up to here. He's going to break. We're playing alternate breaks.
Yeah, if the break works for both of them, we're gonna see a fairly even game. Ruslan is a very good, one of the best 9-ball players. Let's see if there's no ball. He left one ball.
And he's lucky
out.
that the cue ball stayed on the table.
Yeah, I think he was playing a cut break, and he didn't hit the rack flush with the one ball.
Well, the rack is open. Don't see any problem here. Shane's got to use the bridge, the mechanical bridge. Well, he overruns the position quite a bit. Well, Alex, do you think that pool players often they practice too little playing with mechanical bridge, like unlike snooker players who seem much more natural using this piece of equipment?
I never honestly seen anybody. I don't watch that many snooker players practice, but I see a lot of pros practice. I honestly never seen them practice with a bridge. There are certain basic things that you can do where when using the bridge, it becomes fairly easy and not even different than playing with your hand bridge. And it's just a matter of knowing those basics. Maybe some pros are better with it than others. A lot of it has to do with the psychological reaction to, oh, I overrun my position, or the cue ball is too far away, I have to use the bridge. You have to look at the bridge as just any other tool in your bag. And
But the fundamentals are a little bit different there, so you have to be familiar with playing in this fashion.
Well, because in order for you to minimize that difference, you have to use the bridge properly. Shane is ahead 2-0.
Yeah, he managed
The
to play
table-
some nice a couple of recovery shots.
Yeah.
So,
Um, I like to watch Shane's game. There's really not much I can say or comment when he is running the table. I saw that the table was fairly open and that he would not have much difficulty getting through it. But if I see some interesting situation, I will, voice my opinion, and hopefully I can guess it right. But commentators rarely make mistakes. They don't usually miss balls.
Never.
So almost. Well, no, I
Never.
miss a ball or two occasionally. I'm being modest.
so you are kind of a C
I'm a
C player commentator. Yeah?
No, B. But I'm also a B player on the table, so. Another good break.
A very nice break by Shane.
So I think the only even medium difficulty shot is going from 1 to 2 just for position. And I think ball could even go, it will go in the side. He has options. Yeah. Look at that. It again, the
Once
closest
again,
sliding.
yes.
It's you have to be very careful. What's interesting is when you're pocketing the ball, if you hit close to the first diamond, it wasn't supposed to go in the hole. It was supposed to hit the corner.
Yeah, we see some running English and just it didn't grab.
But also his stroke was like a little bit of with this kind of a forced follow.
Well, I had a chat with a couple of players at the Kremlin Cup, and
Yeah.
they noted that the rails are a bit slippery. So
Slippery or jumpy?
slippery. So just the English doesn't grab, and I think this is the same picture we see here.
Well, so also it all depends on the angle, of course, of approaching the rail. But on a shot like this, he had about 60-degree angle approaching the rail, and it's more like with the force. When you go with the force at the rail kind of compresses and holds the ball away from opening the angle, and that's what happened. It kind of narrowed it a little bit. In addition, the table didn't take the spin.
So here's a chance for
It's
Ruslan Chinakhov.
Yeah, open opportunity for Ruslan, just staying on the shot. Again,
Oh, he is not
He
as,
used the rail.
as precise. Yeah.
he used the rail, something.
Well, this is the same way the table played at the event. We're talking about the Kremlin Cup once again. We've seen several shots like going, which you wouldn't expect to.
I think what you just saw on the screen was that the coach of the United States team.
And Russian team also.
He is a former coach of the Russian team, and he is a current coach of the U.S. Mosconi team. But I think what he was explaining to Billy Thorpe, what I explained to you about that reaction of the cue ball of the rail.
Please keep it secret and don't tell anyone else. But Johan Rausing is still head coach for Moscow and Russia team.
Yeah, he doesn't have any secrets. He knows everything. I spoke to him the other day. He said the pool is so easy and clear. I'm being facetious. Not good.
That's a positional error by Ruslan.
Yeah, it's totally unforced. It was he should have gone 3 rails, avoid the 9 ball, and played 4 ball to the inner side.
Well, he's very good at kicking, actually.
It's a very difficult shot. The 4 ball is on the other side. He has to use inside English. Yeah. And when you use inside English on the 2 rail shot, unless you practice it on this particular table, it can go 1 inch right, 1 inch left, 5 inches.
Well, I
to
think
the, right.
the English again didn't grab as much as the player expected it.
Actually, too much. In this shot, it went inside too far. When I practice and I have a 2 rail shot come up like this, where I have to kick at the ball that's in the middle of the table, I would do it over and over till I get it perfect, because they're so difficult, and you have to really know how much rail to hit, how much English to hit, and there's so many variables that, and every table, in addition to that, every table plays differently.
Well, we see Shane is not afraid of playing position across the position zone.
I don't think he did it on purpose. I think he would prefer to play, but he learned over the years to take the table the way it is, and he is a shot maker like you wouldn't believe.
So Shane gets in 2-rec lead.
Look.
So I see Costa Stepanov is already dressed, so that means that yes, he won't be playing the last match of the evening. Maxim Dudanets with Fedor Gorst versus Oscar Dominguez and Corey Duell are coming up next after this very match. No one can stop SVB. Looks like the other way around when it comes to the World Championships.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm a little distracted.
Well, here Ruslan is faced to do some work to develop that cluster. And he's played for the combo. I guess so. So the non-playing captain for Team Russia in this event is one of the local players, like an amateur player, semi-pro, Alan Hestanov. I think he's got enough to keep his players motivated for this challenge. Nicely played by Ruslan. Kept the distance there. And most importantly, had Shane hooked behind a couple of balls. So the kick is there, and it is far from being easy. Shane could go 3 or probably even 4 rails around. Choosing the 2 rails route, and misses this one. So it's ball in hand for the Russian, a Siberian Express, like they call him over there. Well, actually, Ruslan doesn't have any connection to Siberia because he comes from Petrozavodsk. This is the city in the north of Russia, like not far from Arkhangelsk.
Which is,
so it's not Siberia. Like I would say, it's
as
closer.
far as United States is concerned,
it is much closer
to Siberia,
to Finland,
than to Rome, Italy.
Well, in terms of climate, perhaps it is. So now residing in Moscow for many years now. Ruslan plays, he represents Moscow at the local events and is part of Moscow Federation. He is supported by this union. Nice position on the 8 to make a slow roll. Well, he's aiming under the cue ball actually. That's unexpected. Playing to the side, trying to hold the cue ball there. He overcuts it.
This is where Shane's shot making comes into play.
A good 9-ball is not a call shot game, because this one counts.
Yeah. I think the new clause come into play a lot in these couple of games, just by the nature of the shots that they're taking.
Very neat shot by Shane Van Boening.
Well, if anybody, Shane is the guy to go to if you want to come from behind and try to even up the score.
What about holding the lead then?
Well, holding the lead, in order to hold the lead, you need to be in the lead. That's not the situation today, and right now the score is 3-1 Russia, but 4-1 Shane Van Boening leading in the current match against Ruslan Chinakhov, who is wondering what happened in the previous game. I hope he lets it go and starts a new game fresh, and we'll see some fireworks. 3-6. He left a bank shot for Shane. If he executes this bank shot,
Well, Shane the Train. How do you like the nickname? It just
Shane
popped
the
off in the
Train.
chat.
Shane Train.
Yeah, get off the
Interesting,
tracks.
interesting. Listen, 9-ball is where you're gonna have a perfect combination of fantastic skill and some of the lucky rolls. And a lot of times people say that it could be you may be able to play two-rail bank shot.
Yeah, Shane really
kick
got
shot.
he got Ruslan in jail.
It
here.
was a very good safety. Yeah.
Yeah, completely frozen to the 3. Ruslan didn't have many options. That was still a nice attempt, but not good enough to stay at the table.
Is Shane shooting the pocket?
I think there's a safe shot. No.
Yeah.
I bet 9 of 10 amateurs here would have played safe. Just trying to reach the 3 falls.
Yeah, if you're looking at the, let's say, B and under amateurs, you're correct. B plus and higher would, because the table, besides getting to the 2-ball, there's really no problems on the table. And where are we going? Yeah, a lot of
Why not Magic Rack? Well, this is the way. The organizers decided to do it. Actually, I think at the Mosconi Cup they do the same. They don't use any kind of Magic Rack or any other racking template, only a wooden triangle, but the true one, so one of the best.
yeah, diamond racks are pretty good.
And Delta racks are also good.
Which ones?
Delta rack, is
Delta
like
rack,
the metal
yeah.
one.
Geometrically, they're very good. My only thing is it's a metal, and they make, when you have 20 racks in the room, and they all make so much noise when you're racking.
They are supplied with some kind of dampeners or
No,
whatever.
no, it's just metal.
Believe me, they are. I mean, you could buy some.
Oh,
and
in addition to.
yes, and they sound completely.
I've never seen anybody use it.
They sound completely like a good wooden rack.
I'm perfectly happy with wooden racks. The only thing is when you have a brand new cloth, the balls don't hold very well together on the table, until after a while they find these little
the cloth
divots,
breaks in.
divots, yeah.
So tomorrow the racks will be even better.
Yeah, I think the tables will improve as far as the sliding business is concerned, but I don't want to dwell on it because these are professionals and they need to know how to deal with new tables, new balls, and all kind of racking in discrepancies.
Well, looks like pretty quick work for Shane here. He's won 5-1.